All right, guys. So, welcome to tonight's call. I'm going to go over all kinds of things about sleep and what it does and what it means and what happens when you don't get enough of the right kind of sleep and what happens if you do. All of the things that you can be tracking on your wearables if you happen to wear things to bed. All of the stuff. We're not going to go like super deep in all of those details, but I'm going to give you a general overview so you have some more confidence in the things that you have access to and how you're feeling and all of that stuff. But first, we're going to go over some announcements as usual. Most of the check-ins are complete. There's, I think, 4 left for me to cover. I'm going to do those first thing in the morning. So if you haven't received one yet and you turned one in on Sunday, Monday, you will get that tomorrow in your messages. And on that note, if you want more help, accountability, specific suggestions each week, the unlimited plan in our NH Fitness app is going to be your best bet to get that kind of review and very detailed overview every single week with really specific suggestions. So wanted to throw that out there for you. If you have questions on it, let me know. Something else that I'm really excited about, I think all of you have probably seen it by now, but I am giving away a walking pad or a pair of On Cloud shoes next month. So I'm doing something new, which is kind of fun. It seems like there's a lot of people really interested too. I got a walking pad for myself because I needed to get more movement in. It was driving me crazy how few steps I was getting in throughout the day. So I got myself a walking pad and it has changed my life. And I love my walking pad. I use it almost the whole day that I work during the day. And it's really improved my steps. It's improved so many things as far as back pain goes and just overall like mood and energy and everything. So I know a lot of people already have walking pads or don't have use for one. So I'm doing that or a favorite pair of On Cloud shoes, which is like whatever you want to pick out, but that's my favorite pair of everyday shoes. So all that you have to do is there's a $10 buy-in, but that's going to help you be eligible. And you can do that via Venmo or PayPal. And then from there, once you've bought in, then you have to do 10,000 steps minimum every day in February. Everybody who buys in and does the 10,000 steps every single day will submit their completed thingamajig card on the 1st or 2nd of March. I'm going to give people a day or two to get them submitted. And then I will pick a random winner from there, and then that person will pick out their shoes, or I will send them a walking pad, whichever they choose. And then that will be how it goes. So it's gonna be really awesome. It's up to a $500 value as well. So there's that. And so it's just going to really be fantastic. So if you have questions about it, let me know. Obviously, if you don't want to buy into it, you just want to do the calendar, you're obviously welcome to participate. Please do. You just won't be eligible for the prizes. So there is that piece. But yes, we just have to be registered by February 1st if you want to get in on that. There is a new gear release for First Form tomorrow. I am wearing the new shirt actually right now. I already changed out of the pants, but this is actually it's like a longer crop. It's really cute, really loose. I love some loose. They kind of stunk at the whole getting things loose thing there for a while. This is actually a women's top, which is nice. It is not like a super short crop. They do have that option too, but this is the longer one. Cuts right at the hip. It's perfect. There's also 2 new bras, both of which I actually really like. I was telling Jenna about both of them earlier. I will obviously tell you guys all about them tomorrow. But there's 2 new bras and there's more colors of the essential leggings coming out. All kinds of good stuff. So that'll be out tomorrow. If you have questions on it, obviously let me know if you see it and you're not sure on something. From there, intermediate and unlimited plans, let me know if you want the core program added onto your daily dashboards, or any other program for that matter added to your dashboard instead of the daily minimal equipment. I know sometimes I have people that want to have a regular program added in there and then they can choose between it and minimal equipment. However you want to run your fitness life is up to you. I'm happy to provide you with whatever programs you want access to. So we have hypertrophy, 3-day-a-week strength, a bands only program, a regular strength program, a low impact program that Jenna created actually. We have the core program, we have all kinds of stuff. So if there's things that you want, let me know and I can get them added to your dashboards. Let's see. Currently, I am in the developing mode of a hybrid program that's going to be really awesome. It's going to help optimize our performance around hormone fluctuations throughout the month. So that's going to be a really fantastic option for people to utilize. Once it's up and going, it's looking really good so far. I'm also going to start developing some really deep core programs that are going to be all to help reduce lower back pain as well as improve posture and pelvic floor strength. So all of those are going to be in the works. I'm working on earning that certification as of today. So it's going to be fantastic. But outside of those things, I just want to give you a heads up on what's coming. Please continue sharing about our, our new February challenge, about the app, about the Facebook group, about any posts or podcasts that you find helpful. That's always great. Any referral that you make is always greatly appreciated as well. So thank you for that. And then please continue sending over first form order numbers whenever you do make them. That's always very, very helpful. But now for the stuff. We're going to talk all about sleep. There's going to be some big words that I probably stink at pronouncing, but we're going to do it anyway. So we're going to talk about sleep quality priorities. So first things that we're going to kind of talk through, sleep deprivation and disorders are linked to changes in the HPA axis, the connection between your gut and your brain. Those, sorry, laying some again. When that happens, that can lead to neuroendocrine dysregulation. So basically, sleep deprivation and disorders have been linked to the changes in your thinking and mental health. It has been directly linked. So that is something to keep in mind. So if you are somebody that struggles with that depression, that anxiety, some sort of mood disorder, those kinds of things, that can be directly related to your gut health and how we're sleeping and that HPA axis. Increased glucocorticoids, guarantee I said that one wrong, but we're going to go with it. It's a steroid hormone that is produced from the adrenal glands. It increases glucose and insulin and decreases adipocectin, which helps regulate glucose, fat metabolism, and insulin sensitivity levels. So what's going to happen is the steroid hormone is going to go up. And that is going to also increase glucose and insulin levels in our body, which is going to decrease the ability for your body to regulate blood sugars as well as fat metabolism and your sensitivity to carbohydrates and sugars. So you can see how getting less sleep is going to really start to play a lot of bad roles in your body. So essentially, poor sleep quality equals higher blood sugars, which is going to equal higher insulin, and it's going to equal higher cortisol. So I know that was a lot of big words to kind of start throwing at you, but I really just want you to understand that it has been like over and over again linked that when we get poor sleep, especially repetitively, that it can and absolutely affect your mental health. And it can definitely affect, how we think, how we do everything in our day-to-day lives. So sleep is so much more than just sleep. The heater's kicking on. That thing is old and very loud, so I'm sorry. Now, from here, when does cortisol become an issue? When is it a good thing? I always like to touch on this. So it is a good thing. Our body needs cortisol in order to survive. There is a reason that we have it in our bodies. It's responsible for releasing cortisone, which is a response to inflammation and to help reduce pain and stiffness. That's why we'll get a cortisone shot in a spot in our body that is not healing. That's why I have a cortisone shot in my neck where I have bone spurs. It finally made the inflammation go away. Right? We don't want to do that unless it's a last ditch effort, obviously, but that is why we do cortisone shots. That's what its job is supposed to do. Now, it also will buffer the effect of insulin, which is why it releases during workouts. So high body stress, and it's going to help maintain your blood sugar levels during that workout or during that high body stress and continue burning body fat for energy. That's how that works. That's why cortisol is there. That's why cortisone is there. Very important things. Now, it becomes an issue with cortisol when it is elevated for too high and it's too consistent. So optimal cortisol is high in the morning, right? That's why when you wake up in the morning, maybe not first time you open your eyes, but in the morning, you're generally going to be most chipper. That's when you're supposed to be most awake. So it's going to be high in the morning and it's going to consistently drop throughout the day, being at its lowest while you're at rest and sleeping. So it's going to start increasing again around 2 a.m. for most people on average, which is another reason why, if your cortisol is too high or too elevated for too long, you may find yourself consistently waking up at the same time in the middle of the night every single night. If that's like you and you're consistently waking up at like 1:35 every single morning, it's because that's when your cortisol is starting to increase again. And you're so sensitive to it because you have so much in your body that didn't go away that it wakes you up. So if you are that person, which I have been that person, that is likely why. And it's a sign that your body stress is too high and we need to work on bringing it back down. Okay, so now next thing, metabolism is going to slow down if you have too high of cortisol, which is due to having a lack of quality sleep. So cortisol tells every cell in your body that food isn't readily available and to slow down metabolism, because metabolism is the calories that we burn in order to maintain and recover and get through life, right? So if we slow down our metabolism, we don't burn through as many calories and we start holding on to more because our cells are telling us that we don't have as much food readily available. Well, then your metabolism starts to really pull back. And then that means it's going to start signaling to the body to preserve and eventually gain body fat in order to preserve life, because we can live off of body fat a lot longer than we can live off of muscle tissue. Right? So if we're not sleeping well for a very consistent amount of time and our cortisol stays high for a very consistent amount of time, then our metabolism starts to drop down. Our cells say, hey, stop burning as many calories. Let's slow things down. And then eventually we start to gain fat and break down muscle instead. And I'm going to go into that here in a second. But when we do that, our metabolism goes down even further. And then we start gaining body fat because you know what, we do have food readily available, but we're so stressed out, our body doesn't know the difference. And then we take all of those extra calories that we're eating and it puts it right on as body fat. That is not helpful. All of this can really be solved with quality sleep. Okay, so now insulin resistance. Many of you have heard me talk about IR. Cortisol is a catabolic of muscle tissue, meaning it's going to break down muscle tissue because it is a fast source of energy. So muscle tissue can be broken down into amino acids very quickly and utilized as energy very quickly. So it's going to start to break down that muscle tissue, start using it for energy, and then the body can break it down, use it for fuel as needed because it thinks that food is not readily available. So we need to break down your muscle tissue in order to get energy. So your body starts working against you with IR, right? We don't want that. Amino acids become glucose or sugar in our blood. High blood sugar adds more fat abdominally if it's not used during exercise. So breakdown makes sense during certain parts of our day. If we're crushing a workout, yeah, our cortisol is going to be high. We're going to be breaking down muscle tissue. That's when we're tearing things apart. And then we stop when we eat something, right? That's why we have that fast carbon protein after a workout. It shuts down that breakdown process. We start rebuilding instead. Sends a safety signal. We have food. We're good to go. We don't need to break down anymore. We can now rebuild. However, if we don't use it properly, or we're just stressed out all the time and we're just sitting here, or we're vegging out on the couch because we're so stressed out we can't do anything, then your body's literally going to break down the muscle tissue, turn it into blood sugar, and it's going to create body fat essentially out of it. And that is how it's going to start to cause a whole bunch of issues for you. Why does it go to your belly, right? Insulin resistance. That is one of the things that I will see is that that person will have a lot of excess weight, specifically around their tummy. That is a huge sign of IR. And that is because the body wants to keep the vital organs safe and preserve their survival, because you can live without fingers and toes a lot longer than you can live without a heart, right? So it's keeping your organs warm over your fingers and toes. So that's basically how that works. Um, Without quality sleep, so 7 to 9 hours for most adults is what's suggested, cortisol will likely stay higher and recovery and progress will remain at a standstill or a struggle. So if you have done everything and you're doing all the things, but we're still not prioritizing quality sleep, you're going to hit the standstill. You're going to struggle. So now, when you look at like your watch or your wearable or whatever, and it says, the different stages of sleep and stuff, I want you to kind of have an idea of what that means. So the first thing that I really want you to look for is what's called deep sleep. On my Whoop, it comes through as the hot pink one. I don't know why they chose that color, but that is the color that deep sleep is for me on there. We really want that to be a good portion of it, right? We want our deep and REM sleep. We're going to go over REM here in a second to be at least 40 to 50% of your sleep. That would be wonderful, right? So if we're getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep, think 50% of whatever you're getting would be great to have in deep and REM sleep combined. But deep sleep is when the body is rebuilding the muscle tissues, it's repairing all of the other cells as well and expels cell waste. So deep sleep is most often going to occur earlier in the night. And then that's something else I wanted to touch on too. So right earlier in the night when our cortisol is at its lowest is when deep sleep is going to be most prevalent. So a lot of people, if they decide to stay up late and watch Netflix, or they decided to watch whatever movie, or they were hooked on whatever, and they just haven't gone to sleep, and they're like, well, I'll just sleep in more tomorrow. Here's the thing. Your body doesn't know, or it's not going to allow that deep sleep to happen the same, because your cortisol starts to pick up at that 2 a.m. no matter what. So if you go to bed at 9 p.m., okay, perfect. We have lots of time for deep sleep until 2 a.m. But if you go to sleep at midnight and you're just going to sleep in more, you're missing all of that optimal deep sleep time. You're going to skip a lot of that deep sleep opportunity. So you may still be getting the hours, but you're not going to get the quality. So going to sleep later and sleeping in later is really not the best option for creating the best opportunity for progress and success here. So I just wanted to touch on that piece. I know that's not doable for everybody, and it's certainly not doable every single day, but trying to do that most often is going to be really helpful. The other stage of sleep that I really want you to look at is REM. It is called rapid eye movement, but REM for short. It is typically going to be higher than deep. But like I said, we really want REM and deep to combine about 50% of your total sleep hours. And this is where you are going to be processing your memories, filing things that you've learned. It's also when you are going to be dreaming a lot. So deep and REM is going to be your restorative and your quality sleep that we're really, really after. If you're going to bed and getting 7 hours of sleep, but you're only getting like an hour of deep and REM combined, we are not getting quality sleep. We need to get higher quality sleep for you. But that is something too, if you're like training for a new job, or you're going to school, you're taking a class, you're learning how to do something new, you may find yourself having more REM sleep because you have more memories and things and tasks that you've learned that you need to compartmentalize. So that's how you can kind of like play with that data a little bit and see how it kind of works. I just find it super interesting. A couple more things. I'm almost done, I promise. Cravings and appetite problems when it's our direct result of also poor quality sleep. So a direct correlation to sleep quality and the nights before. If you are tired, you are definitely more than likely going to be craving a lot more fast energy, which is typically going to come from fast carbohydrates, meaning like candies, sodas, donuts, that kind of thing. That's going to give you a really fast spike of blood sugar, which is going to also cause a crash. And there it's going to cause more cravings and potential insulin resistant issues if we continue down that path day after day after day after day. So that's how those things can become issues. So if you ever have a bad night of sleep, you will definitely find yourself craving all of the things, or likely craving all of the things the day after. That was me on Sunday. I went to bed at midnight, which is super late for me. I slept until 6:30. I don't do that. And I was off all day Sunday. Really struggling with all the craving stuff. So just to let you know, it happens all the time, no matter what. As far as things to do to optimize sleep, I would really suggest cutting off caffeine by 2 p.m. Whether or not you're one of those people that can drink a cup of coffee at 9 and go to sleep right after, you're not getting quality sleep. That caffeine is active in your bloodstream for hours after you drink it. So stop drinking caffeine after 2 p.m. so that you have it out of your system by like that 9 p.m. area. Blue light blockers after 5 p.m. are super helpful. They're going to help block the screen, right? So a lot of you are looking at me without blue light blockers on right now. So actually you're delaying the onset of melatonin and deep sleep for a good 90 minutes until you stop looking at me without these on, right? So it's going to help a lot if you do look at your phone, if you do look at a screen, if you do watch TV later into the night, having these on is going to help reduce that issue. Less tech in general and screens at 60 minutes before bed. This just helps your brain kind of start to shut down, stop worrying about things, right? Because when we open up our phone and we see something that upsets us, then we think about it and it just becomes an issue. So stopping looking at like social media, emails, all that stuff, like 60 minutes before bed, really helpful. Cool dark room, no TVs on in your room. Oh my gosh, you guys, please turn off the TVs in your room. If you want a fan on, that's fine. Turn off the flipping TV. That's not helping you, I promise. And then try to have your last meal 2 hours before bed. This was a big one that I changed over the last year, and it's really made a big difference for me. Gives your gut the chance to rest. And as we were talking about earlier, your gut health has a huge impact on your sleep as well as your mood, your mental health, all of that. So if you stop eating 2 hours before bed, your gut's kind of ready to digest and take a break by the time you're ready to go to bed. So that way your whole body is resting at the same time. And it really, really works well in synchronization with what you need to happen overnight. So those are my optimal things for that. As far as supplements that help most with sleep, I've talked about these a number of times with you guys, but magnesium is my main go-to. You guys know that I utilize that. It may not actually make you sleepy. Some people it makes drowsy. For me, it does not make me drowsy, but I do know that it helps with quality sleep. It also is going to help with overall muscle relaxation. It helps a lot with heart health because your heart is a muscle. We can help it relax. It lasts a lot longer. It's going to help with digestion. It can help with bone density. It can help with all kinds of stuff. So magnesium is absolutely amazing as far as helping with just overall sleep quality. As I talk about this, I'm getting ready to yawn. Why? I don't know. Okay. So the other three things as far as supplements go that First Form makes that I would suggest. We have Core 21. That's our most common one that you guys use. If you have a fat loss goal and you struggle with sleep, this is going to be the one that I recommend. It's going to actually have a digestive enzyme blend in it as well. So it helps with that additional fat loss overnight, just with better gut health and food breakdown and particle breakdown overnight. Helps reduce a little bit more of that bloating if you do struggle with that. Night tea is going to be for more of our people that are concerned about performance and recovery after really, really hard workouts. That one's going to have magnesium in it already, so I would not take magnesium and night tea together. Otherwise, you may be visiting screen doors and pooping through them. So please don't do that. So night tea by itself. Otherwise, you can do magnesium and Core 21 together if you want to. The third one is Master Brain PM. This is one that not a lot of people use, but it's actually my preference. I love Master Brain. I'll only use it the week before my period though. I just take one capsule a night and it actually helps a lot with just overall like decompression of, allowing your brain to shut down. It's going to help with just better quality sleep. I will warn you though, you can get some pretty freaky dreams if you're not used to taking it. So I don't usually get those anymore. But sometimes I get the occasional like really vivid dream. Not that it's scary, it's just weird. And that's due to the it's one of the root powders that's in there. It's normal. But that's what Master Brain PM is. I absolutely love it. Helps a ton with my better sleep quality that week before my period because that's when insomnia is really strong for most people on their cycles there. So I like to do magnesium with Master Brain together. But now that I've told you so much about sleep, do you guys have any questions on any of this stuff? Do you have any questions on anything that I can help with? Feel free to unmute, put it in the chat, anything at all. All right. Sounds good, guys. Well, I can let you go. I hope you have an awesome night. Thanks for being here. And yeah, I'll talk to you later on. Bye, everybody.